I'm Jerry, and I'm a level 1 chef.
Hi, I'm Kit, and I'm a level 2 chef.
Hi, I'm Saul. I'm a professional chef for the past 18 years.
I love pulled pork sandwiches. I'm Puerto Rican. We love roasting pork.
Let me tell you something about Tulsa, Oklahoma. We make a divine pulled pork. It's full of vinegar, it's full of flavor. You're gonna enjoy this.
I'm going to make a pulled pork sandwich, but I'm going to make my own version, which is going to be a torta ahogada. It's a pulled pork sandwich drowned on chile de árbol sauce, which is delicious.
So now we're gonna prep our pork, specifically pork shoulder. It has a lot of fat in it, but the pieces that are left over are really tender.
I am using actually the pork butt roast, boneless, because it's faster to cook.
It's a mule foot pork shoulder. It's a heritage breed. You can overcook this piece and it will taste delicious. I'm just gonna use like 5 pounds of this beautiful piece and the rest is going to be my lunch. Basically, you're just gonna cut anywhere you want until you feel the bone. That's when you stop. I'm going to cut it around 2 to 3 inches so it doesn't take that long to cook.
I like to clean my pork. That's what my mom and my grandmama did. White vinegar is not only great for cleaning, it's also good for tenderizing meat. So score! 2 for the price of 1. Pour your water in, add our vinegar, and then you kind of wash your meat. Drain and dry it. Get through all the cracks and the crevices. Now you really want to get involved with the meat. Touch the meat, feel the meat.
We're gonna start off with our salt.
I like using kosher salt. The texture of it has a little bit more substance than a regular table salt.
Add in a little bit of pepper.
Fresh cracked pepper.
I don't like that much spice, so I'm just gonna give a little bit of a sprinkle.
I know some people are going to kill me there. We don't use lemon on the carnitas, but guess what? I'm married to a Dominican. My mother-in-law makes the best pernil. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add some of her trick into my carnitas. Rub it in the cutting board. So when you do this to your lemons, right? You don't need a lemon squeezer. You only need your hands.
We're gonna use 1.5 bottles of barbecue sauce.
And then we're gonna do salt. I normally use kosher salt. To me, it's less salty and it's easier to control it.
And we're just gonna make sure that the whole surface area of the pork is covered.
And then I rub it into the pork.
It's going to tenderize a little bit and cut through the fatness.
Now I'm ready to sear my pork. And I'm gonna use some avocado oil. It's a little bit less in calories. Make sure the oil covers your pan. The reason I choose to sear the meat is that it locks in the flavors. You brown each side for anywhere between 1 minute to 2 minutes. And as you hear that sizzle, you know you're getting close. I just move it around, just make sure. And then you're gonna turn it around on its other side.
I wanna save that little bit of extra half of the bottle, because if I'm feeling like this pork is still feeling a little dry, I can add a little bit more sauce at the end.
And now we're gonna do the rub. Gonna add our chili powder, paprika, garlic, onion, brown sugar, sea salt. I like to mix this up first, the dry ingredients, because the Dijon is wet. And then you're gonna take this paste and mix it into the meat. So you can take your time, it's gonna get messy. Transfer it to saran wrap and wrap it up like a little baby. So now we're gonna stick this in the fridge for about 4 hours.
Let it sit 2 hours and we're done. Thank you, mother-in-law.
Our pork is seasoned and ready to go. We're gonna put this into our crock pot, just like that. Get the rest of this excess sauce in there.
We need a copper pot to cook the carnitas. I'm gonna use 5 pounds of lard because I'm going to cook the pork and their own fat. So my lard is completely melted and it's already at 360. That's perfect because I don't want to burn anybody's house. Now we're going to fry the pork. Be real careful. Okay, baby, there we go. I'm gonna cook this first because I want to get nice and gold color into this. If it's not gold, you wait. You wait and you wait.
This is gonna be really delicious.
My carnitas are nice and gold. Look at this beauty. It smells like pure love in here.
We're gonna chop up a little yellow
White onion.
You can use Spanish onion, leftover onion, your favorite onion.
or no onion.
Your recipe, your way.
We're gonna cut these into some half moons.
You just want them small enough so they don't stay chunky.
Just cut it into 4 cubes.
And we're gonna just top this onto our pork.
I'm gonna saute it in the exact same pan that I actually browned the meat. Yes, you know what sound that is, the sizzle.
Pork City!
Meat goes in.
And then for the garlic, I don't need to take the skin of the garlic because I try to be as authentic as I can. And the last time I saw an old lady making a carnitas, that's what she did. Now we're gonna add some thyme. This is gonna add a lot of aroma, bay leaves. If you don't have fresh, get dry ones. Mix it well. Now, I lower the temperature. Add some cloves. Now we're gonna add some sweetness. I add entire orange. Yeah.
This meat is gonna cook it on each side about 1.5 minutes, so you gotta work quickly. This is like a cooking sauce. Instead of adding water to your food, you're gonna add a little bit extra.
We're gonna start with some evaporated milk. I'm gonna mix it well.
Equal parts, red wine,
One of my favorite things,
beer.
Try your ingredients. Get to know your ingredients. Cheers.
And you're thinking, that might be a lot of alcohol. I don't wanna get drunk. This is cooking. It will burn out. It'll be fine.
Soda
Dr. Pepper.
is going to add some caramelization and sweetness.
This really just takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for you. You literally can just leave it here and just trust the gods, the cooking gods, to take care of your pork.
It's gorgeous. Then you're gonna pour your water and your juices right there on it. Grab the aluminum foil. Let's cover it up.
We're gonna cook this on high for about 4 or 5 hours.
And we are gonna go stick this in the oven for about 2.5 hours on 300 degrees.
Now, I lower the temperature. Now let it cook there for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours until it's nice and tender.
Nothing goes with a pulled pork sandwich quite like coleslaw does. We're gonna use our pre-mix here. It's just green cabbage and carrots.
I like to cut up the cabbage myself. I just feel like anytime you make food, it should be fresh. I like to start with the green.
Now, let's make Mexican slaw. Let's start by pickling our red onions. We're gonna do a julienne cut. Julienne basically means fine strips of whatever you're cutting.
And you always go slow because we want to keep our fingers.
I'm gonna close my eyes. You're watching this? Don't do this at home. So there you have our julienne onions.
And we're gonna need 3 times as much red. So the red cabbage is a little sweeter and the green actually gives it the kick.
We want them to sweat a little bit, so we're gonna add some salt and limes. I like black pepper. And I'm gonna put a little bit of Mexican oregano. For some reason, the one from Mexico is a little bit more flaky with more flowers.
Because it's going on the sandwich, I'm not gonna make that much, but if you have a lot of people coming over or you do want it as a side dish or you're just a big old coleslaw head, go nuts.
It's time to char my cabbage. When you char a vegetable, the flavors come out even better. Basically, we're gonna do wedges. A little bit of vegetable oil.
Some fresh red onion in half. I cut it in half again. And then we cut it just like it is one of the cabbages. And now we're gonna start adding the rest of our stuff to our bowl.
Nothing builds off a coleslaw like mayonnaise.
I am a firm believer in a vinegar-based coleslaw because mayo, not my thing.
3 limes juice for our cabbage.
I like to make my coleslaw pretty saturated in this mayonnaise, but mix it to your liking. It seems like it's pretty dispersed pretty evenly.
I like to take
Salt.
sugar, celery seed, caraway, apple cider vinegar, a pinch of pepper.
I'm a little spice sensitive, so I'm just gonna add a little bit.
And the other side. Make sure your grill is nice and hot. Just do a little bit of oil in a towel and just wipe it. If you see a lot of smoke, it's ready. Let's just put this one here. We're gonna make sure you get nice marks in it. So 2 to 3 minutes, and look how beautiful this looks. So we're just gonna cook it for 3 more minutes, and that's it. And now you wait. Patience and faith.
And finally, we're gonna add in our avocado oil.
Look how beautiful this looks. It looks semi-cooked because we want to keep it crunchy. So now, let's cut it into thin strips, aka julienne. Oh my gosh! I got you again. I got you again.
Mix this all up. It's very light, it's very fresh.
Our onions look a little bit purple pink. We're not using mayo, we're not using none of that stuff. And for the cilantro, let's just do the leaves. Don't chop your cilantro up because when you chop your cilantro, it turns black.
This coleslaw is looking pretty nice.
Cover it up. I'm gonna put this in the fridge for about an hour so the flavors can meld together, and then it'll be ready for that sandwich.
Dinner, almost ready.
So now for the sauce. This mixture is gonna really add a lot of flavor to our pulled pork sandwich. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of the sauce that we had left over from before.
You can buy a barbecue sauce, but why? You can make it, and it's so easy, and you have everything at home. I promise, it's simple. You take your ketchup, get your brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, and then I like to stir it, because if you don't, that brown sugar will start to clump. We don't want clumpy, we want smooth.
So the salsa that I'm making, it's not the classic salsa torta ahogada. Why? Normally, people make the salsa with only chile de árbol, but that's too spicy for me and for you guys. Just a little bit of oil. We're gonna start with our chile guajillo. Remove the seeds. They're very hard to chew. The chipotle. This is one of my favorite peppers because it's not that spicy. I think it's creamy, spicy, and smoky. For the heat, I'm using chile de árbol, right? So this is the hottest pepper out of these three. You don't need to remove the seeds. Make sure your oil is not too hot. And we are going to toast them. Start with the chile guajillo. Now the chile chipotle, chile de árbol. By toasting the peppers, you're gonna get the flavors out of the pepper stronger. And when this is happening, we are going to add onion. There we go. Tomato, there we go. The garlic, we're going to smash it a little bit. Add salt and water. Now we're just gonna boil it for 20 to 30 minutes. We're gonna add some beer. I want to preserve the sauce a little bit longer, and also it's gonna add a little bit of bitterness to the sauce.
Gonna add your salt. Don't forget the paprika. Cayenne pepper to give it a little heat. And last but not least, a little cumin. You're only gonna cook this for about 3 to 5 minutes, but you wanna make sure there are no lumps. And right here is my homemade barbecue sauce.
I would definitely be up for trying that.
We cook it for 20 minutes. Everything is soft. Now we're gonna make it smooth. Start slow. Slowly but surely.
And now I'm gonna make a horseradish sauce. And you're like, why are we making all this sauces? There's a method to my madness. First base, sour cream. Some mayo. Dijon. Fresh horseradish is the best. And this is what's gonna bring it all together. Just a final pinch of salt.
Needs a lot of salt.
Mix it together.
This is what's gonna make this sandwich the best sandwich.
Cut open your lime. Just a squeeze will do. Stir.
The sauce is ready. The reason why I strain it because I don't want none of the seeds from the peppers in it.
This is the fun part. We're gonna pull the pork. We're gonna use 2 forks.
It comes right across.
La crème de la crème.
Shred it.
It's actually pretty satisfying.
You add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire right in here. Take that sauce that we made, put it right here in the pork.
Ta-da!
Now,
I gotta make this into something amazing.
pulled pork assemble! That's a Avengers thing. Okay, so I'm using potato buns and I got them seeded.
A potato roll would be okay, but a brioche roll will be out of the park, knockout.
One of the most important things on this torta ahogada, it's the bread. Find something that is crunchy from the outside and soft from the inside, like my heart. And I'm going to cut it in half. I have something else better than butter. This is my manteca. This is the leftover from the carnitas earlier. I'm gonna call it my Mexican butter. My bread is ready.
I start with just a little bit of horsey, and by a little bit, I mean a lot, on the bottom bun and then on the top bun.
The carnitas, our
Pulled
pulled
pork.
pork.
I like to add my sauce at this stage. It'll make your pulled pork a little bit more tender.
I like something with a little crunch.
Chicharrón is pork skin. It's been dehydrated for a bunch of hours and then it's fried. What's better than pork? More pork.
Our next step is our
Coleslaw.
coleslaw.
Yas. Make it pretty. Make it pretty.
Sharp cheddar cheese.
Top it off with some spicy pickles and peppers.
Ooh, baby.
Cut it in half. The moment of truth. Add this amazing sauce and let's drown this torta ahogada.
And this is my pulled pork sandwich.
And this is my pulled pork sandwich.
And this is my pulled pork sandwich, AKA torta ahogada.
Let's dig in. Ooh, it's gonna be so good.
Oh, wow. I hate being self-complimentary, but that is deliciousness. Even the sesame seeds on the bun are really adding a crunch to this sandwich that I really enjoy.
It's Oklahoma meets New York comes together in this plate full of love.
It's spicy, it's sweet. The chicharrón, when you chew it, it's just like eating chips. Honestly, I'm not kidding. Oh, sorry, I forgot one.
Pulled pork is a quintessential Southern dish. There are so many options for making this sandwich your own. Let's see how each of our 3 chefs made theirs. Jerry used a boneless pork shoulder for his sandwiches. Pork shoulder is from the lower part of the foreleg of a hog. It's sometimes called a picnic shoulder, and it's a little leaner than the Boston butt, which is higher up on the foreleg. The hog needs this muscle for locomotion, so it's a little tougher with connective tissue that works well with slow, moist cooking methods. Kit chose a pork butt instead. Also called Boston butt, it's a shoulder cut from high on the foreleg, rectangular in shape and containing several muscles and the blade bone. It's a well-used set of muscles on the hog, so it has lots of connective tissue and lends itself to low and slow cooking methods, which gradually break down fibrous connective tissue and proteins. Saul picked a mule foot hog bone-in pork shoulder. The mule foot is a very rare American breed of black hog that's named for the distinctive, solid, non-cloven hoof that resembles the hoof of a mule. This type of hog is a good forager and valued for how easily it fattens up with excellent tasting meat and lard. This is not a gamey tasting pork. Jerry used a slow cooker to cook his pork. Because the pot, or crock, is made of ceramic, it holds heat and distributes it pretty evenly, but you may have a few hot spots here and there. There's usually a recommended liquid level to avoid uncontrolled heating, so the pork is essentially steamed in the crock pot, which is an excellent moist heat method for this tougher cut of pork. This is a convenient appliance that allows you to leave your pork alone while it cooks.
Leave it and believe it.
Kit seared her pork prior to putting it in the oven, which will add Maillard browning flavors, adding a roasted quality that Jerry didn't get with his slow cooker.
What makes it even more juicy.
Saul cooked his pork in a copper pot, which is a very traditional way to cook pork in Mexico.
They say that they add a lot of flavor. Honestly, I'm not sure about it.
Copper has been used as a cooking vessel in many cultures for thousands of years. It's an excellent heat conductor, so heat spreads more quickly and evenly in copper than in traditional pots and pans. Fun fact, copper cookware has an antibacterial effect because for many bacteria, copper is toxic. Both Kit and Saul used soda to cook their pork. Kit also added red wine to the mix, while Saul chose beer. Soda has a very low pH but doesn't taste sour because so much sugar is added. The sugar is a flavor enhancer and balances some of the tasted acidity from the vinegar in Kit's case and lemon juice in Saul's.
Ross, why is beer such a good tenderizer for meats?
Alcohol will add flavor as well as release alcohol-soluble flavor molecules in the meat and seasonings. Most of the alcohol will cook off, but some may remain since both Kit and Saul cooked their pork at lower temperatures. One of the most important elements of a pulled pork sandwich is the sauce. The horseradish adds a peppery, spicy flavor. It's a root that gives a distinctive pungent taste from the compound allyl isothiocyanate, which is activated by enzymes once the root is grated or chopped, or when you start to chew. It's a delicious addition to Kit's pulled pork sandwich. Saul combined 3 dried chilies to make his dipping sauce. The main physical difference between dried and fresh chili peppers is the amount of water they contain. More water means the spicy capsaicinoid compounds can move around in your mouth easier, giving you a hotter eating experience. However, dried chilies need to be rehydrated before you can taste the heat, so it's hard to tell which gives you the hottest experience. Next time you're in the mood to make pulled pork sandwiches, we hope you'll take some of these tips from our 3 wonderful chefs.